against Mike Tindall.
Come out then, 4!
Just cooling the ambition a little bit here, Gloucester. Aware of the clock, but also aware that one more score absolutely makes. Talk about players who've had fine games, and Savage will be there right towards the top of the list today. There's Haskell.
And Nick Wood needs a mention as well, and scrum and in the loose, he's been excellent.
Come away, 5!
Wade was the only man to the right, so it's Robinson again. That's where they're all lining up. A bit more even now, but Simpson still going that way, trying to get a bit of width.
Ben Morgan should have fallen on that ball. He panicked, and Vunipola off.
Here he goes, Vunipola. Great work by Simpson, the scrum half.
Let it come!
But he wants the great work here from the forwards initially. Simpson again to Robinson.
He's added a different threat, hasn't he, on the game line?
Looked full of running since he came on. But how full of was in general here. McIntyre
uses his strength to see off the tacklers and hold on to possession. And Guerra, Will James the replacement to the number 8, Ben Morgan.
Backwards.
Grew up in the sheds, sitting on his dad's shoulders. Playing now for the club Utes. McMillan. Tend not to be overly busy when he's shadowing Michael Claessens, but he's got an opportunity here with more than a quarter of the match to go. Donald to Ferns, who's been instrumental in this latest push towards the cherry and white line. Wilson laid back for McMillan. Lots of possession. How much incision? Perhaps a little bit more now with Eastman, and then Biggs. Gloucester's defence. South African scrum half might have been able to nip in, but as it is, they're going to have to rebuild. Eastman to Ferns. Again, Claessens to James, held up by a combination of first Burns and then Nick Wood. Tackled hard and low by Morgan on the 22, who's had another solid game, Ben Morgan. This is Spence, 20-year-old lock. Donald cuts inside, 12 Trees holds on to him, but Donald still going, he's still going. Cuthbert, who's come on, was in a little bit of space. McMillan to Ferns, slips out of the tackle of Morgan. Monaghan was bowled out of the way. Still on the floor, Gloucester's defence, shorn of Monaghan's presence for the time.
Yeah, lads, it's there, let it come red.
Ball's there, McMillan can scratch out and get it, he does eventually. Taken on by Skuse, held on, back, frustration.
and into midfield. And that means into Mana Tuilagi. There's Crane. Good work by Will James. And the scorer, try scorer in Europe last week. The ball's there for Harrison. Tuilagi again, gives it to centre partner Allen. Lewis Deacon. Right under the microscope at the moment. We weren't very aware of that, but just needs to live in the world that is Leicester Tigers here at Kingsholm and what needs to be done to win this game.
Not on the side, Gloucester.
Nice rugby all round. That was quick from Jeff Parlin.
And Leicester have slowed it down as Jimmy Cowan got consumed by the ruck.
Would have been not just greedy, it would have been stupid, because Leicester haven't played well, but they've got the collective power to ease their way back into this game. What they've got to do is just watch out for the individual brilliance of Freddie Burns and these Gloucester individuals. If Gloucester think, hey, 5 days ago it was the Ospreys, he talked about the 5-day turnaround, will Gloucester try and play at pace? They think there's some weakness there.
Yes, Gloucester had 2 Thursday nights in the Amlin Cup, so it's been a while, long to strong.
Gloucester, release.
But turned over as 12 Trees came away with it. Now it's James Edmonds. Hooker offloads to find Tindall. Jimmy Cow.
Brilliant at the moment. Now Leicester really have to up their game.
Will James. And the crowd now as boisterous as they have been at any point during the match.
Scrum half, and Tyndall is happy. He's a flanker at the moment, Marvs.
What he is a leader, and that's exactly what Gloucester need in this situation. Yes, 3 minutes left on the Jimmy. Well, it was Buxton until the rest arrived. Well, dropped by
Advantage.
James is that important.
Well, he's
Turnover ball. Slater goes in and gets it.
Scrum advantage.
Leicester want more than the scrum. They want this ball. Now at least Gloucester are doing the throw-in.
Yeah, but they haven't. They've lost the last two. The next line-out would have been 35 metres upfield.
Early lift.
Britain is under terrible
Early lift.
pressure.
Early lift.
And it's a free kick. Away. And as he does so, he goes forward. The man who never goes backwards. Harrison to Waldron. Good tackle from James. Harrison again to Flood. Flood trying to get Hamilton away.
Advantage. Tackle.
It is to Jeff Parling.
First time is backwards.
Harrison says, go on forwards. Deliver now for me. And the scrum half now goes in to give it to Flood. Flood, oh, Hamilton's so tired. They've given so much. That was Parling. This is Harrison. On to Slater. Oh, and Guerra once more. And Guerra again and again.
Epic.
Harrison to Flood, and there are Leicester men.
Didn't get dragged too far forward.
Use it!
Dwayne Peel to Seymour. This is Fraser McKenzie, another Scot. Richie Gray tangling with Tonga in Aberdeen. And once again, his impressive start to the season continues as
No 13.
wants to do their best to burgle it back, but not quite good enough. This is McKenzie, taken on by Peel, who is still as sharp as he used to be when he zipped around in the red for Wales in Cardiff for their coaching team at the moment. Now Powell with a little bit of frustration. Oh, he's absolutely knocked back. Jim Hamilton with the hit, hurt himself a little bit. Powell ricocheted off and continued for an extra couple of metres, but that was the biggest hit of the contest so far. Cipriani linking up with Sam Tuitupu.
Away first three.
Hacksaw Sam. This is Powell, he's lost it. Burns and Amesbury creates a little bit of room and a little bit more hope than there was a couple of seconds before that angled run. This is Buckley.
Away five.
Peel again. Cipriani to Miller. It's over the ball. Will Addison put on a little bit of weight over the summer to help in that transformation from nippy winger to rumbustious midfielder.
No, not yet, not yet. Now they are.
Cipriani, Peel. This is Miller. Picking a player of the half for sale. Miller would be on the shortlist. There's Mike Vernon. He continues to chug away with some interest. Peel. This is Cook. For him as an elegant centre in his Welsh playing days. Charged with all facets of the game.
It's quite a slow throw that Taylor puts in. Perhaps that's why when he puts the lob on, he loses a bit of shape. You still need to keep a bit of pace on the ball. He needs to have the...
I'm not sure if there's been that little kink in the line, that it might have just clipped it. Anyway.
No!
Line out one by McKenzie for Sale.
Ball from James. The referee did shout no, whether he would have heard it, but...
Here. Number 4.
I think if you...
Floor.
Hold on.
Sale committing more numbers as they realised that it was coming back in their direction. Cipriani, Powell, got the ball away beautifully to Cipriani. This is Tuitupu, running with menace for the first time. Sam Tuitupu, that was brilliant. The telling tackle. Where's Buckley going?
There's a big gap between...
Gloucester weren't up in the air anyway, waiting for the ball to come down to start their defence. Peel, this is Kobilas. Lack for impact now that the Moldovan's on the pitch. Seymour, Cipriani. This is the old favourite Evian Lewis Roberts, Welshman back in the fold after swapping pegs with Andrew Sheridan, who's now down in Toulon. By Burns. This is Powell. Still in this game though, just a dozen points. 20 minutes to go.
No, Gloucester! Thanks, man.
Peel, no one really chasing it. And it's gone straight into it on the telly, but he was throwing a pass and he went between his legs, he completely missed it. Walsh went on to score and the Shed were not sympathetic. This is Callum Ofoni.
Come on.
This is the closest Gloucester have been to the try line all match. Now might be the critical moment in the game. Beyond the first line of defence. An amusing little passage. Carlisle up in support, but tackle came from Andy Hazel. Penalties coming. Sean Perry.
Come to me, JP.
Wrestled to the ground by Will James. Will come back for the penalty.
That's whether Andy Good's fit enough to...
7.
Kick at the moment, Ben, is so high, so high. Some great exponents of it in the Premiership at the moment. Good. This is Grove, and this is Lemmy, who's been busy, and 12 Trees did his best to make sure that Lemmy's this season. Cowan will be here soon, but for the time being, it remains Robson. Will James adding his bulk. Robson to 12 Trees, looking for Morgan, who spilt it, but Worcesterson. This is Tom Savage, youngster who's been earning good reviews at the start of the season, the blindside flanker. But they were cherry and white players, I think, notably Harden and James flying off their feet. 12 trees to Good, to 8 Matt Kvesic, elevated to the England Saxon squad for the first time this season. They're of such promise. Perry to Good, Carlisle, this is Mullen. To 12 trees with Trinder offering himself, but the tackle was a sound one from Carlisle. The players thinking at the moment we don't want to be on Phil's list of shame first thing Monday.
Create a gap on the outside.
Edmonds was the latest to give it some real acceleration, and
Worcester are starting all to look in towards the breakdown to see where the next forward break's going to come on. Now is when they need to look to use the backs.
12 trees.
4, first man.
Robson's looking, but it's been stolen brilliantly by Kvesic. And this is Betty, and this is Schofield, and this is Jones, two former Sale muckers combining to create a moment of silence. Edmonds, after his 4 caps for the Wallabies against Wales 2 years ago. Sean Perry, former England man.
So well to stay in the field of play.
Oh, straight through the gap goes Chris Jones, and he's going to score a try here, I think. Trimmed it. And he was within his rights to do that. James to Wood with Robson waiting, but the ball's not coming back to the scrum half just yet.
6. Step, don't go for it.
Morgan's been good. Used to brush off the first tackler every time.
You went off feet and you used the players to clear yourself back. You dived in, no control, waited to be cleared back.
As they come back this time.
12 trees was absolutely clobbered away there by Chris Jones, but he got the ball away. And in the ensuing melee, the ball was knocked on by Monaghan and co. Will James gets back on his feet. Big Cheese, the...
From there, 9.
Perry. We'll revisit that, but let's just see what happens with this latest passage of play. Schofield. Shortest of passes to the 2, but it was an effective one because it takes them up to the 22. Match that's still waiting. 9 now, that's a while ago. He was playing for Worthing. Really enjoying his crack at the Premiership finally. Latui, a little bit of help from Andres. Most of them putting his large arm around the hooker. This is Schofield. Most phases. Through Gloucester's defence for the time being, though. Mullen. Held up by Will James.
Caused by blue feet from blue 9.
James today, he started the opening couple of games. Means that Worcester lost narrowly at the moment. They're heading for a couple of points here with the draw. Just over 15 minutes to go. 6 apiece.
From Gloucester to start the match, the shape of Freddie Burns, who certainly played his part in that mini classic last week. Who is not in the Samoan squad, Brother Census is. Good carry. But the ball was ripped away from Easter as he went forward there. Chance maybe here for Gloucester with Ungera. Now can they follow through their plan?
That's almost perfect from the Quins.
First try then to the champions. Gloucester knew it was going to be tough. Passes the test and he does so once more. He's caught by another Mike Tyndall. Now that is good work again from Gloucester driving through.
Brilliant.
And it was Will James in the driving seat. But then all the good work is Brown. Evans. He pulled it out of the air, but he had time. Brown again. Carl Dixon. This is Hopper runs some really good lines. He's a great user of space. And a good distributor too, but Williams is having to join the forwards there to get that back, and he couldn't. And it's that spoiling job again at the breakdown from Gloucester. They've done it so well.
Yeah, it's what won them the...
To Mike Brown, who is inevitably there. Picked up in the end by Smith. Well, they've got out of that hole and problem for now. Gloucester, but that's good for this second half. In danger of being swept away. Not always of their own making either. The way the game changed in that mad 10 minutes before half-time. View of that England release. That is for Asavalu. Now it is Dixon to Hopper. Then Ollie Cohen. 6'7", 20 stone. Try stopping that. Left to do their best. Here's Robson. Wood, the super sub. Ben Morgan had to work hard to get that, and he did really well. He's got some fingers on it in the end. Cowan on the extra point for the try, but that is not their main concern at the moment. Their main concern is still trying to win this game. Gloucester showing great tenacity. Hard to put away again. Brown will be eyeing up the bench, of course.
Nothing formed.
Job to do for Harlequins first, though. Gloucester commit the offence
Line is
at
5
the tackle.
10 metres.
Not releasing the man, not allowing him to place the ball. Here's Nick Easter. Botica, penalty, but they really want this try. The fourth try and the bonus point to create the maximum pull away from their opponents. Evans wide, it goes! Oh, Wallace!
It's Bota, up comes Akapusi and Guerra. You don't want to see him coming at you at full tilt as he was there. Off goes Ernst Schubert. Good little offload short. Couldn't hold on to it. Very, very cold day. I'm sure the tips of the fingers were more like we're more used to seeing from the former champions. Here's the Cock to Hodgson. There's an offside here against Gloucester. They were up very quickly indeed there. The acceleration was immense, but it was illegal. Weak out. Daffoduk. Coyan. Will James.
Yeah, have a go at it.
Slow. 5 seconds to use it, of course, under the new rule. John Schmidt is down injured as Moritz Bota goes off. And the Cock. Now Short is after this one. So Strettle, both wingers together. Side. George Crew took the ball well at the restart. So Saracens trying to fashion an exit strategy here. Former Rugby League international, to the Cock. Hodgson reskilled. He knew Daffoduk was all over him.
Good pressure by Gloucester defence there.
Hodgson made sure he got plenty of height on that one very quickly. Get away there and thinks he sees a hole down that big blind side. Good work by the flanker. Matt Stevens, handful. Neil de Kock. This is the response now from Saracens as Will Fraser takes it on. Good line out.
Yep.
And look at the drive coming in. A real accelerating hit from the Gloucester forwards to disrupt there. George Crew. Fraser. He's becoming a real nuisance now as Will Fraser in.
Stay there.
Jimmy Cowan. That's good defence again by Saracen. Look at that, picking up and driving Will James back. And he's a massive man, the Bull, as he's known. Here's 12, Trees, pace. And then he bounces as well. Good work by Strettle. Gloucester flooding across the pitch, trying desperately to defend it. There goes Fraser. And now Wigglesworth outside. Tompkins here. Back goes Moritz Bota. In comes Charlie Sharples. My goodness, how well did Boda do to get that ball away to Charlie Hodgson? And now it's Chris Wiles, and now it's Wigglesworth. And Wigglesworth goes in, and Gloucester have been tasered.
In his coach's eyes.
Dan Robson is on. He was playing very well for Gloucester until Jimmy Cowan arrived and then found himself deposited on the bench. Taylor's on as well. So Tim Taylor.
Opposed to, they're deep in their own territory. They want to get the runners into play. They want to get their big, powerful forwards. They're not able to bring them into play because the pressure Saracens exerting territorially on Gloucester.
Big Moritz Bota again. Wigglesworth, Hodgson, Moritz Bota. Carried the ball relentlessly today for Saracens.
Bota's worked well, he really has. The ball carried off himself. So I'm chasing upfield in that long